So we switched to our winter sheets. So normally we just have like a thin comforter and then a sheet.
Are we
instead.
on now?
Yeah, we're on. This
Are
is
you going to talk about this to start it out?
Yeah, whatever. I don't really give a
Beautiful.
shit.
So you switched to your comforter because you sweat a lot.
We switched to our winter comforter because there was one night we had like freeze warnings up here. I mean,
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean,
Already?
120 miles. We had snow the other night. Wednesday night it snowed.
Get out of here.
Yeah, it melted by Thursday morning, but no, today's Wednesday. Sunday? I don't even fucking know what day it is anymore.
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. yeah, I know. But yeah, so I switched to our like winter comforter because we slept with like 2 blankets on our bed one night. I'm like, I think it's probably about time. I don't think it's gonna get much warmer. So it's normally sleep in like shorts and no shirt. So I've been sleeping in sweatpants and no shirt, and I wake up sweaty. So now I'm gonna try shorts. So I'm a little cold right now, but I'm also a little drunk because it took a little longer to get you set up than planned. Not complaining. I have no problem being drunk.
Complain all you want. I deserve it.
Whatever.
Do you can you sleep? Do you sleep with socks on?
No.
When it's winter?
No.
Can't do it?
Can't do it.
Dude, I'm in a fucking dilemma, man. I get in the same dilemma every why are you laughing so hard?
Because it's just a really funny conversation that we're having. I've never had a conversation about sleeping with socks on with you in the fucking 12 years that we've been friends.
So yeah, I was gonna say people that don't know me and Matt go back way far because they don't know. They know you. They don't know who the hell I am. So
not yet. We'll get there after the socks conversation.
What's that?
I said we'll get to who you are after the socks conversation.
Yeah. So I can't. I should pay attention more. Yeah. I can't sleep with socks on, but in the winter, I swear to God, all the heat in my body goes out through my feet. So I wake up in the middle of the night, really cold.
Yeah.
And I'm not cold anywhere but like my feet, but it radiates up me. So then I have to put socks on and I feel better, but then I feel not comfortable because I have socks on.
Yeah.
So it's like a dilemma, man.
If I get hot, I'll like kick my feet out. And that's like, I can't wear a shirt. I always feel like it gets tangled and constricted on all of my sick muscles. Sorry, I'm like working through a cold, so I laugh too hard. I just start coughing. Yeah, my thick muscles. No, I can't sleep with a shirt. Like, so our mutual friend Dan from Reaping. Dan and I have slept in. We've shared a bed on more than one occasion.
Sweet Lord!
And the first time we did,
T-minus, how many minutes did it take for you to get there?
Let's see here. Minus the pre-recorded outro, we're at 3 minutes and 50 seconds.
So it took you 350 to get into the mutual dude friends we have
sleeping with another dude. The first time I slept and I shared a bed with Dan, I slept with a shirt on, and it was like I barely slept because it just drove me nuts.
Well, why did you? But he didn't want you to sleep shirtless. He didn't want them today.
No. I just was trying to not make things uncomfortable, which is weird. But I actually like really respect Dan. So
not uncomfortable while I was sleeping with a dude.
Well, dude, it was a king size bed, and it's not like I was spooning him. And there was 2 other dudes in the hotel room.
And when has that stopped Matt Stein before?
When it's me and Reaping Asmodee in a hotel room. Yeah. So as Nate mentioned, well, as the man mentioned, we go way back. That's Nathan Forcey. He's the vocalist of my band, Drown the Lifeguard. We hosted a podcast together called Rounds and Breakdowns. We've been talking about a new one, which I did tease earlier.
Good.
We still need to figure that out. Pete should be moving up here. We'll get even if he isn't involved, you and I need to do something. Now that it's getting to the cold months, we both have a little more free. Well, you have children, I don't, but more free time.
Yeah, but I'm a single parent, so I have the every other day I'm a great dad, and then every other day I drown myself in alcohol. So,
oh my God,
I can just do it every other day.
Whew.
What's that?
So I'm getting to that. So I was in Nashville last week, and I flew home with a case of beer in my luggage. And this is one of them. It's called Mai Tai Mood Ring. It's cherry, tangerine, lime, and almond double IPA.
Is it real fruity?
It is, but this is like my third beer. So the two that I had, a strawberry shortcake or strawberry upside down cake IPA, which was fucking amazing. Like I will share one. I will save one to share with you.
Beautiful.
And then I had like a straight IPA from Drecker, which I was trying to save because I'm trying to get I'm trying to get Drecker to sponsor the show because I befriended two of them and they love our band. So I'm like, you should sponsor my podcast.
You were talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually sent Chrissy a picture before we recorded of it, and she's a sweetheart. She was nice enough to wear our shirt to an event they had, take a picture next to their sign.
I saw that.
Yeah, I was really happy.
That's way cool.
Coworker of mine's like, I was the one that told you about it. And I'm like, fact, I told you to go there. You fucking punk bitch.
And it's a thing that anybody can go to in the public, right?
Not only that, and I said, regardless of if you told me that it was a brewery or not, I was the one that made friends that work there, not you.
Did you guys fist fight?
No, because I'm pretty sure I could wreck him. His son's name is Sean.
No reason to fist fight then. You don't want to take fights that you're going to get wrecked in, right?
No, that's a really good point. He smokes like a fucking chimney, and his son's name is Sean, but it's spelled Cyan, like the color cyan.
I was gonna say cyan.
Yeah. All he does is talk about his kids wrestling, and I'm like, cool. I can bench 315. What can your kid do?
Wrestle you?
Yeah, but I could probably just break him in half.
Right, and you shouldn't wrestle with children.
No, he's in college now. He's 18. I can fight him.
Sense.
Yeah,
and you probably wouldn't want to fuck with him. Wrestling's the best base to have, man.
No, I completely agree. I thought about wrestling in high school for the pure fact of like the overall fitness aspect.
Yeah,
and then I ate Funyuns instead.
You know, they say that 80% of street fights end up at some point on the ground.
I don't. That doesn't surprise me one bit.
But you have a lot of, I would assume, torque.
I've cultivated a lot of mass in my day.
You got a lot of low end strength from the
Yeah.
type of weightlifting that you do and stuff like that.
Well, not only that, but my background
Your
of
core
soccer
is probably insane.
Yeah, once you get through all the fatty goodness. But you figure, like, because I have a super solid squat, which I'm really proud of. I almost pooped my pants trying to squat 550 one time.
Have you ever?
No, I almost pooped my pants.
I've heard of that though.
I started farting when I got into the hole, and I laughed, and I couldn't get out. So my max squat's still like 540, which is still really good. Like, I'm not upset about it. My deadlift is fucked because I started losing weight, which sucks. It's like, hey, I'm gonna lose weight, and by the way, you have to redo your deadlifting. Well,
when you lose weight, you can't lose weight and gain muscle at the same time. If you lose weight, fat weight, you're going to lose muscle.
Right.
It
was. I think we determined the fact that I was able to use a lot of like my fat weight to pull. So when I started to lose a lot of it, it was like my body was no longer able to compensate for my weaknesses. So I was forced to figure out how to fix it. Whatever, learning experience. And now I'm scared to deadlift because I don't want to hurt my back. Although, fun story that I'm going to tell you while we're recording a podcast, because it's nothing serious. Last week I was benching, and I was benching 315, and I was trying to go for a second rep, and I felt like something in my shoulder pop. And then I got home and I couldn't physically lift my own arm. I had to lift my arm with my other hand.
That's not good.
No, and now it's fine. Like, I played my drums before.
It was a nerve thing, or
I don't know if it was maybe like I fucked up a muscle in the front or the back, and it just kind of was pulling funny, and it just created some hot, like a hot spot. But I worked it out and rubbed creams on it. Some of that CBD cream that I gave you. That shit's amazing.
Yeah, I've used it on my shoulder.
Yeah. So I just kind of worked on it, and within like a couple days, it was fine. But I was concerned because we have a show this Friday. I mean, now that so this episode, we're recording it Wednesday, later than normal. Not a big deal. It'll come out as soon as I'm done. It's no one's fault.
But it's sort of my fault.
No, but it was like I told you, man, I haven't been feeling the greatest. I went to Metallica last night, so it's like we both had shit going on. You're the birthday boy or girl. So you had shit to do. It's part of life. But
this weekend will be a crazy weekend. It's good to have things to do, though, right?
I agree. I'm looking forward to, and unfortunately, I had to bail on Nate. We were supposed to go to Iowa together to visit some friends. I've been gone so much for work and life in general that my wife it was my decision too. I probably could have still gone, but hell, have no fear like a woman scorned for Sega. But we still have a show on Friday, so
And I'm still going to Iowa this weekend.
yeah, and I would not. I would have felt bad if you were like, well, I'm not going to go now. But
No,
I'm taking her to see the new Halloween movie, which I'm excited for. She's excited for.
Does she like this kind of stuff?
She does. A lot of times she watches the movies with me. I think she gave up through Turbo Kid about 3/4 of the way through. She's like, this is fucking stupid.
Oh yeah.
She doesn't like the nonsensical violence, and like, she doesn't really care for action movies, but she does like horror movies.
See, the nonsensical violence doesn't bother me as much. I don't like twitchy shit.
I don't think that she was like, it doesn't bother her. She's just like, this is stupid.
Well, it's not a scary movie, really.
No, not at all.
You know,
I didn't. And then when we had discussed, I don't think it was meant to be scary to begin with.
No,
but based on the gore, I'm like, it could probably be a horror movie.
Oh, for sure, it's a horror movie. It's a horror movie, but it's not a but it's not a jump scare kind of horror movie. It's just a different kind of horror movie. But I would absolutely say that it's a horror movie because of the gore.
Yeah, and this came up because a coworker of mine was talking about it. And I just overheard him, and he's like, "It's Mad Max with kids and BMX bikes." I'm like,
"Oh, total Mad Max ripoff."
Sign me up. It's a Mad Max ripoff almost to a fault with the water, but then they bring in kids and the whole turbo, whatever. But
yeah,
I don't mind. Well, yeah, we can get into that. What the fuck are we talking about? Let's get back to like catch up time. Let's make people around the world listen to you and I catch up.
Metallica, how was it?
Oh yeah. It was good. It was much better than. Sorry, I finally opened the chat and someone's just giving me shit about timing, but it's just Erica. She's a fucking asshole.
Fuck Erica.
Fuck you, Erica.
I forgot. She's paying us to do this, though, isn't she?
No.
Oh, then it don't matter. Anyway,
right?
Metallica.
Fuck you, Erica. Dude, have you been in Fiserv yet? So for those unaware, Fiserv is the new Bucks arena that they just built in Milwaukee, and it just opened like a couple weeks ago, right? Like the Bucks season just started.
Yeah, Bucks played tonight. They won.
No, they played. I'm sorry, they were away tonight. Foo Fighters are there tonight.
Right. Metallica was last night. That's what you're at.
Yeah. Dude, that place is amazing.
Yeah, it's a beautiful venue.
Ken and I, our bass player Ken and I went, and we sat outside of like our section and watched the Brewer game. Brewers are in the playoffs until Metallica plays AC/DC's Long Way to the Top. After that, they play their Ecstasy of Gold, and then they come in. That's just what they've been doing. They did it at Madison, so I told Ken, I said,
"You're talking about just like the background before they come on stage."
Yep, they just play the house music, and I think that's everyone's warning in the crew that it's about to go down.
They were covering it.
No,
because you never know with them now.
That's a good point. It's a very good point. So I'm like, let's just sit there, wait for that song to come on. Song came on, we went to our seats, and fucking Ecstasy of Gold started, and it was. I mean, you saw the picture. There's not a fucking bad seat in that place.
No.
And it sounds amazing.
It's not that big, though.
No, they said 17,000 people, and that doesn't count the floor. Even with the floor, I can't imagine there was over 20,000 people.
Capacity is actually less than the old Bucks, the Bradley Center where the Bucks used to play.
Which is weird.
Yeah, it is weird because it's already one of the smallest venues in the NBA. But
yeah,
it's not like they were selling it out. It's a small market team. So
no, and
it kind of went the smaller but more luxurious kind of route.
Yeah, and it went more of the the Lambeau feel where you go into one entrance and then you can go down 30 rows or you can go up 30 rows. So there's more like a central entrance, and then you walk from that direction. Instead of, I believe, Bradley Center was you kind of came in the middle of section 1, or you'd have to go all the way upstairs and go. And that, which, whatever, I don't really care. It just kind of sucked. Like you walk in and we were in row 9, so you go walk down 20 rows of people and they're all drunk and yelling at you.
How much were those seats?
155.
How'd you get 9th row?
Fan club. So because I had, fuck yeah. Because I had paid for the fan club, you got better seats. Now, Metallica are businessmen. My brother took my dad, so
Dad went to
my
Metallica.
dad did. I went and saw my dad, and like,
Leon.
yeah, the two guys that were sitting next to me were like, "Dude, your fucking dad's a Metallica fan." I'm like, "I learned from the best, man. Like,
That's
it's
beautiful.
because of him that I'm so into music."
How did I not know this?
What?
Did your
That
dad like Metallica?
I don't think he really likes, but it's not that he doesn't like Metallica.
He
It's
just wanted
that,
to see a rock and roll show.
yeah. I mean, he took me to Kiss when I was 12, so it was only right that one of us took him to Metallica.
One of our sales guys at work said to me today, he's like, I went to Metallica last night. And he's like, he's got a picture.
Is that the dude who's buddies with him? Or
with
buddies with the
no. That's our VP of entertainment, the guy who does all the booking. So he knows their agent and all that stuff. Like I said, he has a black album, like platinum album, is signed in his office and stuff. It's really cool. No, this is just a guy that sells seat sponsorships, and he had like, so the decor in our offices is you can have band stuff on the walls, like framed work and stuff like that. Like, I have like Deftones and
be an adult about it.
I have For Today and Children of Bodom and stuff like that, which even though it's a music venue, most people don't even know who the hell some of the bands that I have in my office are. But like, for example, but he has Bruce Springsteen in the E Street Band, a big mural of it in his office. So that's what he's really into. So when he was like, oh, I went to Metallica class, he was like all proud of himself. Yeah. And he was all surprised because he's like, he was in the pit. And he was like, yeah, man. He's like, it was a really good time. And he was like surprised he had such a good time. And I said, well, why do you say like that? And he said, well, it's just, I said, oh, I get it. Because it's like a heavy metal show. It had to be like mosh pits and anger and this and that and everything,
Dude, we saw one guy crowd surf, which I was even surprised to see.
Yeah, he said he saw one guy moshing, and then within 5 minutes, that guy was taken out because he was just kind of just drunk doing it by himself, running into people. And I was like, yeah, well, you're at a Metallica concert, which most of those people are older than we are, that are going to a Metallica concert. You're going to be on the not like younger side of it, but you're not the oldest guy there,
No, I mean? and there was a point where Hatfield like pointed out the age difference. So there was a girl in the front row who was like 12 years old, and he goes, "I see there was a lot of middle-aged people there."
Mm-hmm.
I wore a Death sweatshirt, and I got a lot of comments on it, so that kind of helps you gauge the age range.
Well, I consider myself to be middle-aged, and I was too young to get into Metallica when they were first out. I didn't get into them until they already were on their third record.
So they were playing, what'd they play? Sad But True? And they have you seen like the cubes that they have that drop down and shit?
Mm-hmm.
So they were showing like a ticket stub from 1991, and Ken looks at me and he goes, "I was at that show." Fucking course,
I was at that show. Years old at that time.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, man, I was first grade, second grade, something like that. I don't even fucking know. But anyways, yeah, sorry, your guy was all about it.
Yeah, that's it. He was just all about it. I was just surprised that he went, and he just kind of said, I think he just felt really cool and really wanted to share it with me because he knows I was in that kind of stuff. And I said, what's great about heavy metal is that when you go to the shows and stuff like that, there's a community.
Yep. Because
it's not a mainstream kind of music. So when you go there, people actually aren't angry and all that. It really makes people that maybe are angry in their lives outside there, that might be. But when they come there, it's kind of like a coming together where it's like you kind of all there for the same,
Everyone's commonly angry.
Not at each other. So they're not angry at each other because they're with their own, so to speak,
Yeah. There was
kind of said exactly. He's like, exactly. Like, I think he felt cool because he felt for that night he was part of the metal people. And I was like, that's awesome, man. I was like, good for you,
Yeah.
Like, did you go? I said, no, but I had friends, speaking on you, that went, and he's like, why don't you go? And I just said, man, I just don't get into them live. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
And it's not a cheap show. And it's, but it's not a lack of respect. I absolutely respect it. But like, what we've talked about before with Lars and, the same stuff that people say.
Yeah.
I don't hate them for it. They're older. It is what it is,
but so I talked to my dad briefly this morning about it, and he was kind of asking, he goes, they'd never slowed down. And I'm like, well, yeah. And I actually I emailed him 2 videos, and I said, watch Battery played in 1989 and Battery played in 2018. I said, Lars is playing about a third of the bass drum strokes.
Mm-hmm.
And no one else, like Kirk and James can't not play what they wrote. You know what I mean? The song would sound weird. So I think it's weird that Lars just like fucking shirks his duties.
Lars does. I think the guitars and the bass and everything sound, because I watched some of last night's show online.
Yeah.
And I've seen it before online and stuff like that and the recent stuff. because I'm interested.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to pay to go see it. But like, the only thing that gets me is Lars. Obviously, the drumming is, and his fills are not the same fills.
So what's really funny is Ken's
I heard
comment.
Master of Puppets, and the fills were just. I was like,
Yep.
that's not the fill that he plays on the albums and stuff. It's just
Nope.
a lot of just snare rolls instead of doing an actual fill. It's just like on the snare and then into the next part.
Yeah, Ken's like, as a bass player, he goes, I would fucking stab him trying to keep up with what he's playing.
Sure.
He'll just start playing. He'll play like 2 or 3 measures of some like fill, just whatever he feels like playing.
Right. But it's in the middle of like a verse part.
Yeah, and my biggest response to that is like, dude, I haven't played Master of Puppets for 30 years, 300 times a year. Yeah. I don't know how bored he is playing that song, but at the end of the day, I paid $160 to see you dance, monkey.
Yeah. So, you're rich because of this. So, yes. I don't feel
that. You and I had that discussion. Yeah. We figured there got to be at least each of them taking home $250,000 a night. Even if they're only playing 50 shows a year this year, that's still fucking $12 million.
And there's a satisfaction of playing in front of all these people who are worshiping it. You know what I mean? There's a rush to that you don't get anywhere else.
We know that. You and I know that, but we play for 6 people.
Yeah. And we've played for hundreds before too. And when you do, it's a rush, man. So imagine playing for thousands, it's all proportional. Yeah. And the other thing that I didn't, just not to slag on Metallica, but just,
oh, I love Metallica. I'm not ragging on anything. I'm just,
just calling it like we see it.
Yeah.
Hetfield vocally, it's like he's changed.
Like it was.
It's the same thing like you're saying, because you're saying, you see things as a drummer, with that kind of stuff. You're like, okay, look at 88 and look at now, and it's the same song, but it's not the same song. Hetfield has 2018 Hetfield vocalized his 1988 songs too, where it's like Master of Puppets. There's so many more. Yeah, come on, ha ha ha. When I hear him laugh, he laughs constantly during the songs, and that kind of freaked me out. Like every time there's some kind of break, he's like, and then they play a part and stuff. And I was just like, man, that laugh wasn't in the original version. I know he's trying to get the crowd up and everything like that.
Yeah,
there's too many of those, the little cliche Hetfieldisms that he's adding, and he didn't used to do that stuff back then. That's more of a modern Hetfield thing of doing, like load forward kind of thing, although oh yeahs and stuff like that.
Yeah. Now, I've my coworker, I looked at him one day and I said, I would stab you 15 times to see Metallica on 89.
Yeah,
like with hands fucking down. There are some jams off the Black Album. Like I wish I could have seen that tour, like the one that Ken said he was at in 91. Yeah, that would have been cool. But
yeah,
you deal the hand you're dealt.
I know Black Album it was their first foray in not being of doing some of their more melodic and not as heavy stuff. But I feel like during the Black Album sessions and everything, they were still those guys. They're still the old drinking, hell raising metal.
Well, old. I think they were like 26
when they did the Black Album.
Yeah, let me see.
No, they're definitely older than that. Because that would mean that they did like Ride the Lightning when they were like 17.
Hetfield is 55, 91, 28.
28?
Yeah, I turned 30 in 93.
Wow.
And that it came out in 91. So you got, he was probably 27, 28 when he was recorded.
That's surprising.
Isn't that fucked up? Like what were we doing at 28? Working for the man.
Yeah, I mean, I was in
20. Yeah, I didn't know you when you were 28.
I was in White Knuckle Tripping still. That was when I was doing actually cooler musical things. That's when we were like traveling, touring and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, that was good times.
Those are the days.
No, these are the days.
Well,
I don't think that way, man. I think it was great for when it was. And this is great for when it is now,
Oh God, I'm not upset. Now, What excites me is this thing I'm looking at.
What are you looking at?
So I had to talk about this because Burger King is every year they make like a new fucking Whopper for Halloween.
Shit.
They have
Cream is back. Really?
So when I was in Nashville,
this podcast is like all Matt's favorite things.
Yeah, it's a few
food, fast food we're talking about now.
Normally Corey brings up fast food. He's not here yet, so someone's got to cover that. But
Okay.
speaking of McRibs, so Quick Trip, which is a local gas station, you can get a rib sando there all the time, and you can just make a McRib out of that shit.
They say that again.
So Quick
Trip,
Trips,
the gas station has
they have rib sandwiches.
Okay.
You just walk over to that little produce section they got, throw some fucking pickles and onions on there. You got to McRib.
But it doesn't have the signature sauce of the McRib, I would think, right?
I have no idea. I have not eaten a McRib in a long time, and I don't care to do that to myself.
But you'll eat a Quick Trip McRib. Like that's any better.
I have eaten a Quick Trip McRib. That is not my go-to there. They have different sandwiches that I might venture to first. Where I was going with that is I met someone who works for Quick Trip Corporate, and I was just like telling her how much I loved her place, and I'm pretty sure she thought I was just a weird fat guy.
How would you love her place and appreciate their McRib, their version of the McRib?
You got a killer rib, Sando girl. So where I'm going with this is Burger King has made a new Nightmare Whopper that comes out this year. It's got a green bun. Last year was
Whopper?
Yeah. So last year they had the black bun, made you shit purple.
That's right. I mean, I never had one, but I remember seeing the commercials.
I field tested that motherfucker. And it did.
And shit was black?
shit was purple.
Purple.
Purple, yeah. Because of the dye that they used in the bun made it purple. So this year they have the Nightmare Whopper with green bun. No one said if it makes your poop green yet, but it's like a Whopper with a chicken sandwich, so it's healthy. You know, they put a fried chicken patty on there, so it's healthy.
Fried chicken's not healthy.
No, no, not at all. 100%. I'm not that dumb.
Just called it healthy.
No, I know. It was a joke. It was a joke. So they're saying that whatever they put in this bun is supposed to increase your chance to have nightmares.
Get out of here!
I shit you not.
So is it like nootropics in there?
That's my thought. Is that they just put a bunch of nootropics in it, and because they're saying like this will give you a nightmare, and they give you nootropics, your body's just like, we're gonna produce a fucking nightmare tonight.
But
whether or not that's true,
doesn't necessarily make a nightmare. It just makes you dream more lucidly.
Right, but I believe if you go into it, it's like doing mushrooms. If you go into the trip assuming you're going to have a bad time, you're probably going to have a bad time.
A lot of times that's true.
Yeah,
but they would have to put some disclaimer saying, "Hey, there's this chemical in there." If that's true, so
it doesn't. So it says according to
that, it's not like it's an NC-17 sandwich. But for real, right? Because you know what? I wouldn't want my 10-year-old eating, nootropics from Burger King.
I agree. All it says is that it says, oh my God, there's so much science. Burger King teamed up with a sleep and diagnostic service.
You're shitting me. This actually says that on their site?
Yep. For 10 nights with 100 participants, I've been drinking, who ate the Nightmare King before they went to bed, researchers tracked different behaviors from snoozing subjects, including their heart rate, brain activity, breath, to determine whether they had vivid dreams. According to the studies, Burger King did this. According to previous studies, 4% of the population experiences nightmares at any given night. Blah, blah,
4%.
Blah.
So 96% of you won't feel shit.
But after eating the Nightmare King,
you have 100 people that had a Burger King Whopper of any sort before going to bed, I would say wouldn't 4% have a nightmare regardless? Just because, you know what I mean? Just because of the unhealthiness in their body? No, but for real, right?
But after eating the Nightmare King, the data obtained from the study indicated that the incidence of nightmares increased by 3.5 times. It's the fried chicken they put on there that ruins your fucking guts.
So yeah, so you agree. It's just the fact that you're eating completely unhealthy shit before you go to bed is not going to make your brain function probably the most positive way when you're going to sleep.
I mean, I don't disagree with that, but maybe they shouldn't have fed him a Nightmare King like 20 minutes before you go to sleep.
Does it say that? True. I don't think you should. I think any sandwich from Burger King 20 minutes before you go to sleep is a Nightmare King. You're
not wrong. I mean, I ate a spicy chicken yesterday on the way to the show. That motherfucker was amazing, but I did not feel good after I ate
it. So that's a spicy nightmare then. But then you didn't. Yeah, but you didn't go to bed right away. I just don't think that if they are putting something in there, they would have to tell you what that is.
Yeah, I think it is 100%. I think it's a mind fuck.
Yeah.
And I think the human brain,
placebo, you're kind of saying.
yeah, the human brain is strong enough that if you were like, hey man, we're gonna give you this sandwich, it's called the Nightmare King, it's supposed to give you nightmares. That a lot of people would be like, oh my god, I'm gonna have a nightmare after I eat this. They eat it and then they just have a nightmare.
Right.
I just think a lot of people are influenced easily by that, and that's how it works. I plan on eating one. If this thing comes out by me, I will eat it. Because I love weird shit and I love food. Right. And
I'd be curious, but yeah, I don't know.
I'm not gonna eat it and be like, oh my god, I'm gonna have a nightmare now.
Yeah.
I have nightmares every day. It's called going to work.
Oh, there you go, man.
That's just
that was dad humor right there.
That was very much dad humor. Once a year, I have the worst nightmare ever. It's called paying my taxes.
So anyway, yeah.
Turbo
so
Kid.
Metallica, you had fun though, and that's what it's all
about.
Oh
yeah. Back to that. The set list was tenfold.
You've seen them how many times?
Yeah. Well, yes, but every time. Oh man, speaking of, Ken and I were talking about that. We were trying to decide if I ever saw them, and they didn't play Master of Puppets. And thankfully, because Metallica records and releases every one of their shows, I have all of the audio.
So we're gonna go through all the audio from the last.
Yeah, we're just gonna listen to 7 Metallica shows that I've been to that I don't have on my computer anymore because I don't save music. God damn it. Anyways, yeah, because we were talking about like what songs do you think they have played at every show ever since it's been released? I go with Enter Sandman and Nothing Else Matters.
Enter Sandman for sure.
Yeah.
I almost won.
You think every show? No, because I think in recent shows they haven't played one.
Really?
I'm gonna look at.
That's like their first like real hit, right? And one of their best songs they've ever written.
Oh, it's a great song.
I think a lot of people would say that.
I'm just looking at a couple of the.
But that's got a lot of fast drums in it. Although all of Justice,
which he plays like fucking wet noodles now.
That's what I'm saying. So.
Oh, maybe they do play one at every show.
I'm
not. Well, I just looked at like the past like 4.
I don't even know why I did that. I was right.
I am right. Oh man, maybe they did. It looks like they played one in Master of Puppets, Nuts to Butts.
I remember. I feel a little weird right now because I watched Turbo Kid right before this podcast. So that was like my last thing.
I watched it almost a week ago.
Did you? I watched it and drank beers through it. Ate organic protein pizza.
Ooh, an orgasmic protein pizza?
Yeah. No, it wasn't orgasmic.
Oh,
it's like fake pizza. Like they have these. It's good, but they have these like pepperonis on there, but they're not pepperonis. They're like tofu-peronis.
Ugh.
Yeah, so it looks like a pepperoni, only it's gray. It's not. It's like they're trying. I know. Like when you put it in the oven, they look like pepperonis. Like it's a frozen pizza, but it's like a organic pizza. And it's like it looks like a Supreme pizza. Okay, only a little smaller, and it has like organic crust and shit like that. It's like all like protein, organic protein and shit. So like you when you put it in there, you look at it, as a frozen pizza, you kind of go, oh, this looks like a fucking, regular. I can't believe it's not delivery DiGiorno or some shit like that. You put it in, and like, so you're kind of pumped. You sit down. You might be stoned. You might be any of those kind of things. So you're really getting ready for your fucking pizza. Yeah. And then you go to the oven and get it out when it dings and it's ready while you're watching Turbo King. Turbo Kid.
Yeah.
Same thing. And the pepperonis are now smaller and gray. And they're like the fucking meat. Every meat substance that's on there turns gray. Like, but it wasn't that way when you put it in. It looked normal. I don't understand it. But I ate the whole thing while watching Turbo Kid.
But was it good? Like, do you feel bad about it?
No, because normally if I eat a whole pizza while watching a movie afterwards, I will feel bad about it because I'll feel like shit. Yeah. I.e. spicy chicken.
Exactly, yeah.
And I didn't. You feel fine after it because it's not bad for you, So like, no, I felt okay.
So was the crust
felt ripped off?
Was it like a crust or?
Like it looked like crust, but it's like it's organic, so it's not like it's like a plant-based crust. So
Okay.
there's not like it's not, but it basically just tastes like crackers,
Huh.
like wheat thins or some shit. But like,
I don't hate wheat then.
no, that's what I'm saying. None of the stuff that's on it is bad. It's just not what you expect. So like when we were eating it, you're not like, oh, this tastes gross, but it's like your mouth thinks it's getting pizza,
Yeah.
you know? And there's this stuff on there that looks like it should be pizza sauce, but there's no flavor of pizza. There's no remnants of it once you eat it. I don't know. It's very hard to explain, man.
I feel like you've been cheated.
I felt cheated. But now I don't feel like I've been spicy chickened. Like my stomach doesn't feel weird or anything like that. I feel like I can drink a lot more of these delectable Guinnesses that I'm drinking right now. And it, whereas like if I just would have put down a whole, Jack's Pizza or Red Baron, one of them kind of things, I would feel bloated and shitty. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It would have tasted a fuckload better though.
A lot of times, what I'll do is I'll eat half the pizza and then I'll scrape the cheese and the toppings off the other half and just eat that.
What?
So I feel like carbs are what make me feel like I got stung by 10,000 bees.
Sure.
So I will limit the carbs I have, but I will just eat all the fat and the protein and the cheese and the meats. And you get a little less carbs from the sauce. So I still eat an entire pizza. I just only get half the pizza carbs, the crust carbs.
So you just peel everything off the crust and eat that?
Yeah. Because I would eat a plate of cheese if I could.
But I love crust.
I do. I love crust too, but I also love not feeling like complete shit.
I was eating salads at work. I usually eat my lunch at my computer because I'm busy during the day,
Yeah.
And I was eating salads because I've been trying to, eat healthier and stuff like that. So I was like, well, I'll just eat salads at lunch because I got in a horrible, I work right downtown in Milwaukee, so there's just like anything you want to eat, like walking distance from everywhere. You know what I mean? So you can go down to that rabbit hole of like, let me try this one today, let me try this today, let me try that today, and the next thing you know, you put on 10 pounds in a week. So I got on this kick where I was like, I'm gonna start eating salads, and then I realized I was going through a whole half a bag of croutons when I was eating the salads because I love the way croutons taste. And I would like, get done with the salad and think like, oh, I had a nice clean lunch and I'm gonna feel so much better afterwards. And then I realized like I ate so many fucking croutons, those carbs, that just bread shit, that I was like actually feeling worse, and I didn't get it at first. I was like, oh, maybe I gotta stop eating all these croutons. So then I stopped eating croutons. Now I don't eat salads anymore. So I'm like, fuck, that was the reason that made the goddamn salad taste good.
Yeah, I do really like a salad, but either cheese or croutons are what make it better.
Sure.
Turns out I've never once seen Metallica where they have not played one or Master of Puppets.
Boom.
And there's only one show that I can't confirm that on because they don't have the audio.
But they should though, right? That's not a bad thing.
Oh, no, that's not a bad thing at all. I love both of those songs. But where we're going with this is they played Harvester of Sorrow, Creeping Death, Motor Breath last night.
Wow.
Which they let's just get this.
So it's better than the set wise than the last.
It was, and it sounded way better, not only because you're in a newer building, you're not in a fucking dog turd of an old basketball stadium.
Right.
But I think the people were into it more, and Ken even pointed that out. And I was like, well, they could drink in Milwaukee. They couldn't in Madison.
Really?
Yeah,
How do
Madison.
You Metallica show where there's no alcohol?
Because it was at the Kohl Center, which is on the campus. College campus can't sell booze. The only booze were in the suites. Luckily, we had a suite. I got my booze.
Yeah.
So in Madison, they played Hardwired, Atlas Rise, Seek and Destroy, Cyanide, Fade to Black, Now That We're Dead, Confusion, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Halo on Fire, Last Caress. They didn't cover anything in Milwaukee, which was weird. Fuel, Moth into Flame, Sad But True, One, Master of Puppets, Spit Out the Bone, Nothing Else Matters, Enter Sandman. Last night, they played Hardwired, Atlas Rise, Seek and Destroy, Harvester of Sorrow, The Unforgiven, Now That We're Dead, Creeping Death, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Fade to Black, Motor Breath, Fuel, Moth into Flame, Sad But True, One, Master of Puppets, Spit Out the Bone, Nothing Else Matters, Enter Sandman.
They ended out with 2 Black Album songs, huh?
Yes, and Ken and I knew that was coming, so we stood by the escalator to get out, and as soon as they hit that first note to Enter Sandman, I'm like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
I don't need to
Perfect.
hear entertainment anymore. It's whatever.
Right.
There's like a firework business that happens at the end of that song, and it's cool, but I don't. Whatever.
Firework.
The Black Album was the first Metallica album I heard.
Do you think Hetfield gets nervous with his
No,
firework extravaganza?
I hope not.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for those listening,
PTSD.
James Hetfield basically melted half of his body from a flash pod in the 90s.
Yeah.
Watch the Behind the Music. Was it Behind the Music or was it a Year and a Half in Life of Metallica? But Jason Newsted talks about watching Hetfield's skin bubble and pop off his hand as it turned into blisters.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would fucking
the pain, right? And they didn't. And he didn't know for a minute. They didn't know if he'd ever play guitar
again. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, how cool and terrible would it have been to see one of those?
Yeah, who'd have wrote Death Magnetic if he wouldn't? Because didn't he write all that guitar?
I think yeah, because Hammett just didn't want to or didn't or whatever. Death Magnetic is a good album.
I like Death Magnetic. What's the last one?
Hardwired to Self-Destruct.
He wrote that one too.
Okay.
Didn't they write?
Surprise me. I don't know.
Yeah, he and Lars wrote that without
Hammett.
Yeah.
So I wonder if Kirk is
Trujillo. They were kind of perturbed. Or Kirk was. I don't think Trujillo was because he's just lucky to be in a spot. I think.
Yeah, he's just like, I'll cash my $1 million checks. I don't mind.
I
braid my hair and do dumb stuff with a bass guitar.
Yeah. Did they do their weird cover or anything? He and Hammett? What'd they do?
I didn't know what it was. Seth, our very, very good friend Seth Wolf had to tell me. Give me a second to find out what he said. They had a really fucking it's Freddy's Dead by Curtis Mayfield in the Superfly. From the Superfly soundtrack. They had a really sweet Buck shirt. Like, so what they'd been doing for the stadiums where there was a major a professional basketball team was a play on the logo. So it was like the Metallica skull with the fucking Bucks horns.
Ooh.
And I was 3 people from the front of the line and they sold out of it.
That sucks.
Yep. So there's cool shirt. For sure. There's Chinese knockoffs on eBay and I'm thinking about buying one. Because I'll probably never wear it. I would just fucking buy it and stuff it in a bin just to have it.
But see, then why? I don't understand that. Like I have a collection of Air Jordans. You know that.
Yeah.
And I see so many people say to me like, "Why are you wearing those certain Air Jordans that are like whatever?" And I'm like, "Because I'm just gonna let them sit on a fucking wall." I don't understand it. You wear it, man. You buy it to wear it. No,
I would wear this shirt. So the one from Madison, the one that I got at Madison was just like a skull, and I didn't really care for it. But I don't want to hang on to a ticket. Like I don't want to pull like a box of tickets and show someone, be like, "I was at this show." Like I think a shirt's a little cooler of an item.
True.
I would wear that Buck shirt, but the knockoffs are like printed on Gildan, and I've become this shirt Nazi.
You don't do Gildan anymore?
No. Well, I mean, I have Gildan shirts. Like I have a Panopticon shirt that's Gildan, and it's like the sizing is just like box. It's like a box. Whereas like Next Level, which this shirt is, we print all of our band stuff on Next Level. They accommodate a little better, so it's a little longer for the large fitted gentleman. So like Gildan, it's like a weird box, and I just feel like this cubey mess.
I understand.
Whereas like the Next Level shirts, like I wear a larger shirt, but it doesn't make me feel like a big box.
Cut right.
Yeah.
I hear you. That's like hats, right, for guys.
Yeah.
You can't just buy a hat, just any old hat. Like we're talking baseball hats and things like that, you know?
Yeah.
You have to have the certain ones that fit your head the right way. T-shirts can be that way too. We are picky about that stuff.
Fuck yeah. I wear enough T-shirts that, gotta have nice feeling nipples.
Now, does Gildan give you the softness in the nipple area that you need?
I mean, the Gildan shirt it's not uncomfortable. It's more of the cut that I have the problem with.
Sure.
But now that my nipples have known Next Level, they're screaming for Next Level nipple comfort.
I've never had a nipple problem with things I wear. I never knew nipple problems were real until we were running a half marathon, and a friend of mine that was running it with us, he like, I don't know, maybe like halfway through started going, he's like, "Man, I'm fucking dying." And I'm like, "Oh dude, you're getting tired?" Like, slow down for a little bit or whatever. He goes, no, I'm not tired. He's like, I'm getting nipple chafe up from my shirt like really bad.
Do
And
you not watch The Office?
what's that?
Do you watch The Office?
I don't. I mean, obviously I've seen it and stuff like that, but I'm not like,
Yeah, there was an episode where they ran like a 5K or something, and Michael Scott like had to, or maybe it was Andy, put band-aids on his nipples, and they still
really?
bled at the end. Yeah.
He would have loved to have band-aids because he was just dying.
Well, I knew that was a thing from our friend. I don't want to say his name. I don't want to out him, but he runs marathons.
Out him. Who are you talking about?
You know who it is. It's the brother of the guy who comes to every one of our shows.
Jake.
God dang it, Nathan.
He won't know. Does he watch this?
He listens. He'll probably whatever. But yeah, from him running marathons. He was the one that kind of told me about people putting band-aids on their nipples so that they don't bleed as a result of running marathons.
Sure. Yeah, it's a real problem.
I don't know if he has sensitive nipples.
But it is a real problem. The struggle's real with people.
It is.
And their nipples when they run.
I don't know that because I don't run. I stay stationary.
My nipples have never had an issue, but like I've had, feet issues, blistering on my feet or things like that or whatever. You know what I mean? Like those kind of things.
You know what stops that? Stop running.
Stop running. That's right.
Yeah, just don't do it, man. It's not worth it.
I've been running lately without shoes on.
Like on your treadmill?
Better. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
can see that
outside.
Well,
that works better for the feet.
I wouldn't be surprised if you ran a little bit outside without shoes on. You're kind of like crazy enough to do it, but I had to clarify.
Sure.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. I literally was talking about earlier about how I almost poop myself. So I do dumb shit too. I'm just, sometimes you got to ask.
No, I run outside when it's, obviously with our climate that we live in.
It's 50 degrees? Well, now, I mean, it's nighttime, but
I mean, in summer, I do the outside thing. I prefer to do the outside thing, but like, when it gets cold out, fuck that,
Yeah, when you're outside and it hurts your teeth, like that's just. Ken and I were talking because we took that show in December, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm totally down. Everyone's down." But my first thought was, "Hope it's not snowing," and I'm like, "Me too."
Well, but you can't just not play.
Oh no! It's just kind of the reality of the climate and the place that we live in, where it's like when you get to December, it's like you could have to deal with a snowstorm to get to where you're going.
Yeah.
Luckily, early December is usually not too bad, but it's not like fucking January through April is a crapshoot no matter what.
That's where it's worse. But I mean, like the unfortunate thing is the spontaneity of it.
Yeah.
I mean, like with our weather, you can have, a beautiful day,
luckily,
and a blizzard the next, and it just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, luckily now Ken and I both have all-wheel drive vehicles, which I think will make a world of fucking difference.
World of difference.
Yeah.
I don't go without it now.
I don't think I will. I mean, now that I'm in, like, when I didn't really have a choice and I drove what I drove, it was different. But now that I, as an adult, can have that decision, I don't think I would get rid of it.
No.
Drive that fucking RAV4 around, show everyone my RAV4 dick.
What else do you have on the horror docket? What other topics do you have?
We don't really do news anymore. I just wanted to talk about that.
I haven't been on this show in a while. And the last time you had like different little.
We used to cover news. I forgot how long it's been. I can actually look and see the last time you were on here. We used to cover news, and it just got really difficult to try and stay like current with when we would record. And that, in a perfect world, we would record every Sunday, and we would just have news and whatever. And it kind of stopped working. And we got away from that, especially with like we've been taking summers off. Corey makes fun of me and says that it's because I have to mow my lawn. He's not wrong. Like it takes me a fucking.
For those that don't know, Matt has a hell of a lawn.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah.
Holy shit! You haven't been on in almost 2 years.
Hasn't been that long.
December 6th, 2016, we did Krampus.
That's how we have to start doing the Alpha Hour.
For fucking sure. Yeah, I'm down. But yeah. So yeah, we used to do news, and I just kind of stopped. The only reason I wanted to talk about that Whopper is because I saw it. And I like sandwich.
That's why I thought you do that kind of stuff. Because I thought that's why you were bringing that one up.
Mm-mm.
The horror Whopper.
I forgot. I mean, granted, I don't just like walk up to you and I'm like, "Hey, man, this is what we're doing with our podcast now." Because usually we have enough band shit to worry about that this never comes up.
No, it's all good. When does that come out now? Because now we got to try one.
What, the Whopper?
Sure.
It looks like it's the 22nd.
On your podcast and let everybody know if the shit if it's the real deal.
Yeah, it looks like it's October 22nd through the 31st. It's on sale at Burger King.
At all? Or
participating select? Burger Kings. And I couldn't find a list of participating Burger Kings because if mine ain't participating, I'm gonna burn it down. Not really. I don't. This is not any sort of threat on Burger King or your establishments.
I like Burger King.
So do I. Like I said, man, ate it yesterday.
I only do that shit now on weekends though. But you know what sucks about doing it that way? It used to be where, like, on a weekend, I would maybe eat something like Burger King or something of that ilk. If it was, if I just had nothing else to eat or just happened to be out or whatever it may be. Now, like, that Saturday comes along and I go, well, I have to eat something like that because it's the only day I can. So it's almost like kind of counterproductive in a way to do that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
dude. The biggest thing I notice is it's like don't take. And we haven't even started talking about the movie yet, but don't take fast food and be like, this is a treat, I can have it on this day. It's just like, you know, man, if that's what my option is, that's just, dude, it's just food.
Yeah.
You know, and the big thing, and you could attest to this, is I used to fucking eat until I like was uncomfortable. And when I stopped doing that, that changed a lot for me. And I think there's been like 2 times in the past year that I've eaten to a point of being uncomfortable, and that's just made a world of difference for me.
Sure. They say that that's one of the biggest, like, I don't remember who I was listening to on some podcasts, they were talking about eating, and they said that the first thing you should do if you want to start eating healthier, people think like, if I want to start eating healthier, I should just start eating healthier foods. Sure. But that's a lot more difficult than it sounds. You know, like changing everything you're eating to become healthy stuff, because 90% of people, 90% of what 90% of people eat is fucking garbage. You know what I mean? So like it's more of a lifestyle change to say I'm going to eat clean like that, just like that. It's not so easy. People think it's such an easy thing. It's really not, right? But the best way you can start to eating better is don't change what you're eating, change how much you're eating. Portion control is fucking huge. That's the biggest thing, man. Not people have this thing of like, I'll eat till I'm full. Well, you know that your full threshold is always going to grow exponentially. You know what I mean? It's like lifting weights. The more you lift weights, the more weight you're going to be able to lift. Well, the more you eat till you're full, the more you can eat until you're full. You know?
Yeah, there's a sushi buffet place here, where the sushi just comes around on little boats, and it's just there's 2 pieces of sushi per plate
in the restaurant.
Yeah,
nice.
This place is fucking awesome. We actually just went there on yesterday.
So it's by where you live?
Yeah, it's up in Appleton. So you just like take off a plate as it comes by, and
just when you see something you're like, that looks good.
Yep, you just okay, yeah. Or you can order off the menu. They'll go around and make you rolls off the menu. But we used to do there's like a counter. I'm doing this and it doesn't really work. But if you're watching this, the counter is probably yay big. And the point was to always break the plane. You'd want to stack up your plates high enough that you're taller than the lip on the counter. Dude, and it's like fucking 30 plates. That's like 60 pieces of sushi. That's a lot of fucking food. And we went there Tuesday.
That's a lot of raw fishes swimming around in your.
Well, not all sushi's raw fish. So they're like, I had chicken.
I'm just being like but go ahead.
But they have like a chicken panko one that I get, so it's like cooked chicken and panko. But I didn't even count, but I probably had maybe a dozen plates, and I was full. I was fucking full, and I drank a bunch of water.
And you used to do 30.
Yeah.
See, but that's the other thing. When you use portion control, you actually start to. I mean, just like I was saying, like the more you eat, pushing it, you're going to grow and grow and grow. But the less you eat, your body will also get used to that.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah. So, and the other thing was like, you don't always have to clean your plate, which is a big thing in our country. Is like, hey man, if you take it, you got to eat it. And sometimes I'm not full. And that's the other thing is like, if I have a big plate of food, like I don't finish it, I can put it in a container. I can eat it later.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's my problem. I always feel like I still have that ethos in my head where it's like, whatever I take, I have to eat. But I think the thing is that I don't do leftovers. I'm fucking awful with that.
Oh.
So I always have in my head, like, I'm just going to throw this away because it's not worth, saving in any way, shape, or form because I'm not going to fucking eat it. So I throw it away, but then I feel guilty about throwing it away. So I'm like, I just got to feed. I.e., tonight, my organic pizza, I was done after half of it, and I ended up eating the whole goddamn thing because
you bought it.
Because I didn't want to throw it away, man, because I knew I wouldn't eat it afterwards. My dog was looking at me like, I'll fucking eat it. And I was like, dude, I want some. You got like this little beef stick on the ground over there. Go eat your fucking beef stick. You don't want this goddamn pizza. He's like, but it's pepperonis. And I was like, no, it's not. Because see, I talk to my dog like that.
I talk to my dogs too all the time.
Realize that sometimes that you're having a fucking conversation, they're just looking at you because they're looking at you. You just keep talking because you feel like they're making that eye contact, so they're paying attention.
Yep.
But then you have to remind yourself that they don't know.
They have no idea what you're talking about, and they just think that you're going to give them a treat at the end of the day.
It's all love.
Yeah, for sure. I fucking love my dogs.
All right, should we do this Turbo King thing? Turbo King?
Yeah. I
call it Turbo King. Ever since you said the Burger King, I want to say Turbo King, Turbo Kid. I'm sorry.
Don't be
Turbo Kid. No, I'm sorry to Turbo Kid lovers out there.
Turbo Kid lover.
Is that a Judas Priest song?
Fucking is Turbo Lover. All right. The quickest way to describe Turbo Kid is Mad Max with BMX bikes and children, and like Super Mario.
A child.
Yeah.
Well, he's not really a child, right?
Nah, my guess is he's probably like 18 to 20.
He wants to fuck a robot, so he's got to at least be. I'd say dude.
I totally had a weird boner for that robot chick.
Oh, me too. You know why? Because she wasn't really a robot. But yeah, totally.
Yeah. No, yeah. I looked her up and I told Alyssa, my wife, I'm like, how old do you think she is? She's like, I don't know, like 35. I'm like, please 32.
Don't. She's 32?
Yeah. She was totally like old enough.
I thought you were gonna say like she's 16, and then I was gonna be like, oh, son of a bitch.
No. I wouldn't have led with that if I didn't think she was. She's 32, huh? Yeah, she's damn near my age. When this came out in 2015, she would have been like 28. So
yeah,
not that bad.
No, 28 is fine.
Yeah. It was just so this movie is such a strange concept. I didn't care about the story. I still don't care about the story. All I cared about was the gratuitous violence, and that's the whole reason that we decided on doing this movie. But we decided on doing this movie. I said, "Hey Nate, do you want to watch this movie that you've never heard of? That's just really gory." That's how we got to this point.
Matt's a very eccentric guy when it comes to his tastes in beer, movies, music, those kind of things. So when Matt comes to me, and Matt knows this, like I'm not a beer connoisseur, but I'll fucking throw anything down my throat.
Dude, I bought Metallica beer yesterday.
Nice.
No, I was gonna drink it, and I was like, well, I'll just wait till I see Nate.
Beautiful. Well, let's see. So that's what Matt does. He'll bring like some weird beer to practice, or if I go over and see him at his house or any of that kind of stuff, and he'll always be like, you just put it in front of me and be like, try this. But I like to get the explanation because I'm interested in where it comes from, what it's about, and all that kind of stuff. And I have a very love-hate relationship with all of it. But the good thing is, like, getting back to like my not wanting to waste things, if I don't like it, Matt puts it down. He'll drink it.
I know.
He'll put it back.
Because I'm like, dude, you made me fucking chug a barrel-aged barley wine last weekend.
You sure did, like a goddamn man. I took a drink. Another friend of ours, Ken, was there. He took a drink, and we both made the stink face, like the goddamn. Because some of the beer that Matt drinks, it tastes like hard liquor. It's like
turpentine, man.
Yeah, it's not like a traditional beer, but some of the. So for me, it's a love hate. It's either I fucking love it and it's great and it's different because it's always different, or it's turpentine. But the good thing is then you just throw it down the garbage disposal, i.e. Matt, and so it doesn't go to waste or anything like that, which is awesome. So another one of Matt's cool eccentric tastes is his music and his movies. So when he said to me, "Hey Nate," because you had said to me, you said you were gracious enough to say to me, "Hey, will you come on my podcast?" And I said, "Of course." And then he said, "Okay, pick a movie," because he's nice enough to say, "You can pick a movie and then we'll discuss it on my podcast and everything," which is awesome, But I was like, man, you've done this so many times. You've done so many movies. I don't want to do one that you've already done. And he said, of course, because you're nice like that. I don't give a shit because it'll be a different take on it then. So it's fine. And I said, no. I want to do something that we haven't done. So then he's like, okay. So I'm like, you pick one. Just tell me and I'll watch it because I just trust his judgment on that stuff. And then you came back to me pretty quickly, and not in the same conversation, but within a day or two. And then you said, watch Turbo Kid. And I was like, okay, got it. Done. What is it? And then, he said, Mad Max with BMX bikes. I'm in. Let's do this. And then your first thing is like, I don't watch it for the story, just the violence.
Well, when the final 20 minutes are just fucking like,
you weren't wrong when you told me that.
Yeah, like people's bodies being blown in half and ending up on top of people. And dude, I at one point I got up and I just walked away, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what is even happening? and that was kind of the point at which I realized, like, all this movie is meant to be over the top. Like, no one is meant to take this movie seriously. And that's when I was like, fuck yeah. Like, this movie's cool.
It's comedy, but there's really no one-liners.
Nope.
Like some of those, I liken it to Kill Bill, but not at all the depth or the story. So don't sit here and say like, Turbo Kid, like you really like Kill Bill, and then say, oh, I'm gonna go watch Turbo Kid and think you're gonna get the same thing out of it, because you will be so fucking let down. You will be eating a organic shit grade pizza versus Domino's, your favorite flavors. Okay, so it's like, it's not that, but the similarity is they're both pizzas, sort of.
Yeah.
But the spraying blood kind of stuff that was in Kill Bill, this is obviously stealing from that. Like when there's a stab wound to the stomach or something like that, and it's literally like super soaker squirt guns shooting blood out of the wound. I mean, there's definitely that, and I think that was definitely borrowed from Kill Bill kind of stuff. So it felt that way. I watch stories, and when a movie first started, I loved. So, okay, and this is what I don't. So at the beginning, they say this is a movie that kind of takes. They have the little narrator kind of thing, and it says this, and they're setting up the kind of apocalyptic kind of landscape, the wasteland they call it, that they're in, and they reference it being the future, and everything's, wars torn through the world, and but then they go, it's 1997.
Yeah, so the biggest thing is that it was alternate universe 1997.
Oh, how did I not know this is an alternate universe?
I think I only knew that because Wikipedia says in an alternate 1997.
Okay, so they never really say
in the movie itself they do not at all explain that.
Okay, that makes a little more sense. But because so it was a future, but they had like 80s kind of gear. Like at the very beginning, he's in his little like underground bunker, the Turbo Kid, before he knows he's Turbo Kid or becomes Turbo Kid or whatever the fuck you want to call it. When he's just a normal kid, and he has like a tape deck and like a Walkman, like a tape Walkman, which I really like because it kind of brought you back to the whole 80s kind of thing. But then I'm like, okay, so obviously the world was torn apart in the 80s, and he's kind of a scavenger who kind of travels the wasteland to basically loot dead bodies. Mm-hmm. Fair?
Yeah.
And then he goes to some kind of, I liken it to like Star Wars, where like Han Solo and Chewbacca and whatnot would go to those like bartering places and like the bars kind of thing they would go to. He kind of goes to their version of like that kind of thing to trade in his stuff, and then he gets a Turbo Kid or Turbo, what is it called? Turbo Rider?
Turbo Rider, yeah.
He gets a Turbo Rider comic book. Like that's like was like the big thing to him. So he was really into this. But then all of a sudden, so it's a comic book character, and you think because he's a kid, he's just into this comic book. But then later on in the movie, he actually finds the wrecked, abandoned ship of Turbo Rider, and his body's there, and he steals the suit off him, and then just starts doing little like fight postures and stuff with the suit on. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah,
that's when it started to like some of those kind of things. Kind of, I was like, that's such a hole in the story, like the way that this is kind of, I don't know, man.
Right, and it seemed like when Apple was, when it was determined that Apple was a robot, I was just like out of the blue, and it seemed very
out of the blue,
forced.
So not set up. Yeah, very forced, forced. And the thing that about that kind of was strange to me was, so there was no technology for anything else. Like they're riding fucking bikes.
Mm-hmm.
And like even like the Indiana Jones looking like cowboy badass guy jumps on a fucking kind of old lady bike and they kind of like, let's go. You know, they all pedal off on their bikes. So I mean the technology is fucking like at least Mad Max, and they all have the bad guys all had kind of totally Mad Max kind of gear on, right?
Yep.
But they rode bikes too.
Mm-hmm.
Which was really fucking weird, except for the main bad guy, old guy, who
ended up being a fucking robot too.
Which you didn't see coming at all. But yeah, when Apple became a robot, that's when everything for me kind of started to go south. Right? I felt like it was just like, it felt very much like they were writing the script and it wasn't too bad. And then all of a sudden they're like, dude,
we need a twist.
Let's make her a fucking robot.
Yep. Yeah.
And bam, she's a robot. But she had no robot mannerisms at all. And the technology then to create a robot person who literally could eat, drink, and shit, because she said when she started eating that he was like, you can eat? And she's like, oh yeah, I can eat and I can drink and everything. Well, why? Well, because if, you know, I was out with my human companion or whatever, you know, her master or whatever you'd want to say, and they don't want the friends that they're out with to know that I'm a robot, well, I have to be able to eat with them and stuff like that.
Yep.
So, what the fuck?
So it seemed like a total afterthought where it was just like, well, we're gonna make her a robot now, and how do we make it normal? Like, yeah, well, just let her eat and drink and just say it's because she has to.
Right. And then just to sew up the absurdity of the writing for the character of Apple. So at one point, is it okay that we spoiler alert? Do we spoiler?
Yeah. Yeah, we spoiler everything.
Okay. So she gets killed. You know, one thing leads to another, blah, blah, blah. You know, in a certain fight scene, she gets killed. And decapitated, to be exact.
Yeah.
And but her head is kind of still functioning. Even though that was weird to me too, because later on she gets shot in the chest and that makes her shut down, but yet she can be decapitated and her head still functions. So I didn't really get that. It didn't make sense to me. But then he literally takes her head to the robot cemetery. I'm not paraphrasing, like they called it the robot cemetery. Mm-hmm. And he finds a body that didn't have a head, and he just takes her head, slams it on there, and duct tapes it around it, and then falls asleep next to it and wakes up to it being like, or later on it wakes up and it's alive and it's just fine. And she just goes, ooh, I really like this new dress I have on. So, which to me was just kind of like, okay, like really, like you just duct tape that head on this body and then it was perfectly seamlessly, no issues, no nothing. And then in the end of the movie, she gets fucking killed again, but then he ends up burying her and everything. And he's so sad about it. And I'm thinking the whole time, motherfucker, take her back to the goddamn robot cemetery. All you got to do is duct tape her fucking head to another body. You got Apple back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he says to the guy, I got to go. He goes to the guy because he's taking off on his bike, you know, to ride off in the sunset. And the guy, Indiana Jones guy goes, well, you know, what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? And he goes, I'm going to go see what's on the other side of the wasteland. And then the old guy goes, well, there's really nothing there. And he goes, I know. And then he rides off. I was like, you've got this whole movie, right? When you write the script and you want to have the good prophetic and, you know, sew everything together. And the two, protagonists in the movie are having their final talk before right off the sunset. And that was the best you had, man. I'm going to go see what's on the other side. Well, there's nothing there. I know. And then that's it. Like, it was just, I don't know, man. I know, like you said, you're not really watching it for the story or anything like that, but
at the end of the day, you're still watching a movie and you're still expecting a story.
You know, if you've invested that much time into it that you made it all the way, I mean, the movie's only 93 minutes, so it's not like, you're investing a whole lot of time, but right. If you made it all the way to the end, sew it up a little better than that, right?
Yeah, probably ran out of money.
But that being said, I really fucking like this movie.
I thought it was a really good movie.
I really fucking like this movie.
I think it's because I didn't really expect,
I shouldn't.
Yeah, I didn't expect or want much of anything, and I took it at face value that it was going to be a stupid gore fest, and that's what I got. I just, certain movies you watch and you expect a story. Like Alyssa and I went and saw The Witch, and I wanted a story. I wanted to be scared, and it was fucking trash.
Yeah.
If I just went there thinking like, well, we might have one or two good jump scares, it probably would have been a better movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I didn't think the acting was horrible in it. I didn't think, because I really expected with a campy movie like that for the acting to be horrible. I
Yeah.
felt like, I know I'm ripping on like how they're talking and stuff, but that was at the script level. But I didn't think it was at the acting level. I thought the kid that played Turbo Kid
He's
did
a
a
pretty
really good
decent
job
actor.
for what he had.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
I thought the girl that played Apple, the robot, basically his sidekick,
Mhm.
I thought she was really good too. I didn't think it was bad at all. Script wise bad, but you can't help what you're having to say.
Right.
But I also thought the fight scenes were not good. The choreography of the fight scenes was not good. It was just kind of,
I can agree with that.
very like I'm gonna stab you and then blood's gonna shoot out, but that's kind of about it. There wasn't any cool like, spinning jump kick, this or that, or anything like that.
Right.
It was very remedial. But yeah, tell them about the end, the part that basically you told me that you have to see, and was the laugh out loud. What the fuck is going on?
So
the final 20
when a guy's body is halved and then his upper torso ends up on one guy's head and his legs end up on another guy's head, and then at one point someone else
they're
is
walking around,
with like a fucking
like the guy who can't see that's got the bag over his head.
Yeah.
Like, oh, where am I?
And then another fucking torso ends up on top of the second torso, and it's just like a fucking people totem that blows up.
Yeah, it's a torso totem.
Yeah, it's a
With
torso
some dangly
totem.
feet up at the top. And then, but then Turbo Kid, who finds the uniform of Turbo Rider, has gloves that are like powered gloves.
Yeah, they go pew pew.
Yeah, and shoot like lasers that make these guys explode into blood and guts. But make no sense. Okay, so they have to generate, like they have to power up. If you play video games, and you have some special
That was odd.
You shoot the gun and it's got to power up before you get the next shot.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, he's shooting this thing like it's a 6-shooter.
Yep.
He's like, boom, blows this guy up, boom, blows that guy up. And then all of a sudden, got to recharge. And then there's other times where he shoots it once and he's got to recharge. There's no like rhyme or reason as to when this thing needs to recharge or not recharge. Which also made no sense to me whatsoever. That it was things like that in the script writing where I felt like, I know you're trying to be campy and not care about certain things or whatever, because it's not really about that. But those are such glaring things that were just seemed, like you were saying before, just very thrown together. And I felt like the sets for a low budget movie were fairly elaborate. And I didn't think the special effects were horrible for a low budget movie either. Because this movie, I looked it up, grossed $50,000.
Holy shit, I didn't look at
It was
that.
out for one day. It premiered
in
theaters. And Frankie's joining us.
Yeah,
It premiered in theaters. Do not lick my beer. I'm gonna try and lick my beer, and that's not happening. It said, I looked it up and it said like the premiere made $50,000, and then I looked total movie gross $50,000. This movie had to have cost well over $50,000 to make. Oh, there you go.
Probably. Let me.
Do you hear that?
Yeah, I can see it too.
Get some love here.
Erotic.
All right.
Usually Wikipedia says how much the movie cost.
Look on IMDb. I think that's, or how much it cost. Or I don't know. I think it was IMDb where I saw how much it grossed. So it looked as if it was only out for one. But it won some awards, and it was a Sundance pick. This movie. And it was obviously trying to be Evil Deadish too. Did you kind of gather that a little bit?
With the gore and the stupid zombiness, yeah.
Cutting off hands and whatnot.
Yeah. And like I'm gonna cut you and it's gonna spray blood like I just fucking cut a hose wide open.
The part that I thought was excessively gory too was when which also I didn't get why. Okay, so one of the henchmen of the bad guy knew that the main bad guy was like pissed because Turbo Kid and Indiana Jones and Apple had gotten away from their like ring of death kind of thing. Which that was another thing. How the fuck did they get out of there? Because like they were in the pool, or the pool they called it. And, like where you saw they had the sign that said "Welcome to the pool party."
Yep.
And then they were in the pool where they were supposed to get killed by, the henchmen, kind of like Gladiator, ancient Greece style, and they kill all the people there. And then all of a sudden, Turbo Kid looks at the Indiana Jones guy and he goes, "What do we do now?" And there's still, mind you, there's still the bad guy and all the henchmen all around the pool up above. They just kill the people that are inside the pool. And the Indiana Jones guy looks at him and he goes, or after Turbo Kid says, "What do we do now?" The Indiana Jones guy looks at him and just goes, "I think we should get out of here." And then he goes over to just some random like kind of like fire escape trellis kind of stairs, and they just cut scene, and it shows them outside of this building just getting on their BMXs and just riding away. Like nobody followed them, no one gave a shit that they were fucking leaving. And then he goes, "I think we should split up." And like Indiana Jones goes one way, and then Turbo Kid and Apple go the other way, and then they meet up with Indiana Jones later, just randomly after the first time Apple was killed, and he has a bionic hand. So
yeah,
that worked remarkably well, right? And I thought to myself, you guys can't even find water. You're riding bikes, but you have the technology though to make a mechanical hand to replace his cut off hand within hours. Like, how the fuck does that work? But you can't build a fucking car of some sort. You know what I mean? Or spaceship for that fucking matter. Yeah. You're riding BMX bikes, but you can make mechanical hands that function completely perfectly with the human body in a matter of hours. There's things like that where I'm just like, this makes no fucking sense at all. Like, this is just too far. You know? That being said, though, like I said, man, I love the movie. That was fantastic.
Oh, it's super good. Yeah, I agree with everything you said. With that being said, my bladder is reaching 100%.
Beautiful.
So we're gonna wrap this Bad Bama Jama up. We have to rank it first. So since you've been on here last, we've changed it. It's a straight 0 to 5 scale. You don't really have to give an explanation unless you want to. But yeah, if you had to give this movie a rank from 0 to 5, what would you give it?
Okay. So for me, 5 means I'm going to show
this fucking movie you've ever seen.
Okay. It's not a 5.
No.
Right? I know I'm saying I love this movie, but it's not a 5. I would say, though, I'm going to give it a 3 because for me, 3 means it was entertaining as fuck. And I would drink beers or smoke a joint or whatever your fucking flavor is when you hang out with your friends. I would do that with my buddies and watch this movie, and I bet you we would have a good goddamn time watching it. So that's where 3 lies for me. So I will give it a solid 3.
That is literally the exact description I would have given this movie, and the same number I've given this is a 3.
Right? It's a perfect campy movie that you watch with your friends and do what we just did and talk about how, okay, this is fucking retarded. This is fucking retarded about it, you know. But the atmosphere of the movie creates the gore that's in the movie. The sets I thought were great. You know, like they created a good environment for these people and everything like that. And I thought that the acting actually, for being campy and a shitty script, the acting was actually fairly decent. You know, I liked the characters. The characters I was supposed to like, I liked. And the characters that, you know, were the antagonists, I didn't like. And that's, you know,
it did what it was supposed to do.
It did what it was supposed to do. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Said, though, by any standard of true critique of movie, it's fucking awful. It was an awful movie, man.
But it was entertaining.
It was.
And that's exactly why we're here.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, you can contact us by leaving us a voicemail at 805-328-3966. You can email us at pot@gncast.com. You can leave us a message on our website. You can follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Podcast of Terror. Holy shit. You can subscribe to this podcast via iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or any of your favorite podcatchers. Leave us feedback. You can go to bit.ly/potreview. Leave a review there. All subscription options and links can be found at gncast.com/subscribe. You can follow the entire Galactic Network on Facebook under the Galactic Network. Lastly, you can go to amazon.podcastterror.com. Shop like you normally would. We get a percentage of what you are purchasing. It costs nothing to you. It helps keep the show free. Nate, do you want people to find you on the internet?
Sure. I'm out there. I'm out there, kid.
It's Nathan Forcey. He's out there. Find him.
Exactly. Listen to Drown the Lifeguard.
Yeah, do that. We're pretty good. When I'm sober, I say we suck. When I'm drunk, I say we're good. Take that as you will. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram and Untapped at Matt the Lifeguard. Next week, Erica is coming back. Erica Gwynn was on a couple of weeks ago. She hosts Apex in the Abyss, true crime podcast. We're gonna watch Halloween H2O, and spoiler alert: Mike Beach, co-owner of Hate, is gonna be on too. He texted me last night at Metallica and said he can come on, so we make room for Mike Beach when he can come on. Sweet, Nate. Thanks again. It's been a pleasure.
For having me, Matt. I appreciate it.
I'm about to piss myself. But yeah, that's going to do it for another episode of the podcast here. We'll talk to you guys next week.